2012 Mini Cooper Coupe. Trying to replace the fuel filter. Now, I looked at the technical documents from BMW, and it has a notation that removing the interior components is very labor intensive on this car because there's no back seat. Doing this job is real easy on that Mini Cooper right there, the Clubman. Well, there's no back seat on this, so there's a lot of stuff you have to take off. Therefore, according to the BMW procedures, you remove the fuel tank, and that's its own set of horrific procedures. You know, it's also a lot of work and dirty. I can work on this slowly and get it apart and continue to drive the car until I'm done. Great day to have my neighbor doing chainsaw work, but can't control that. Alright, so passenger side, looking in. On the Clubman and other ones, the seat's right there, and underneath the seat, easy to pull out, is the access port for the fuel filter. Well, on this one, it's filled with all this gibberish. So, here's what we've got to do. First, we got to remove this back panel right here. This insert just pops out, and then you get some screws. And then you're going to need to pull the... you need to pull this guy off so you can get to some screws here. And then you have... let me switch around. Then you have this window panel molding that's in the way, and it just pops out, but it is really, really hard to pop out. And there's an inner frame that stays in the window, and I still don't even know how you'd get that out. Not necessary right now, but yeah, this thing is wicked hard to get out. Trust me, you're gonna need some long screwdrivers and a flashlight, and do your best to pry only on the connector points, which will barely be visible. Very hard to do, very hard. Hated it. Then you're just going to take off the seat belt. You know, just pop this off. Boop, pops right off. Real simple bolt. There's a little bit of, there's a little cover there. And that's out. So now I'm going to proceed with removing this guy, and then I'm going to work on this door some more, or this panel, sorry. Got to get this panel released. Alright, so once you get the panels off and the screw there, just grab hold here, nice and easy, pull up and it'll snap. There's no other anchor points that you need to touch. That guy's out of there. Okay. Now I'm going to work on taking the speaker grill off. So there's just a couple screws that hold this, and we want this guy out of there. Okay, I just found that there's a little clip on that side and a little clip on that side. You just pry it up and it'll pop out. I thought this was a one-piece panel that went across. It's actually two pieces. So once you pop that off, same with the other one. Again, we're getting closer to being able to remove this trim panel over here, which will get us under the rug. Oh, and if you ever wanted to do a speaker upgrade, now would be the time to do it. Okay, again, our goal is to remove this side panel, which is going to let us get the carpet out. So, I see a couple screws that are holding that side panel in right there. So, pull those out. If I haven't mentioned, there's a retainer clip right there. Down near the seatbelt. Looks like the seatbelt's on a different panel. No, it isn't. Oh, you're going to have to remove the seatbelt too. So the panel, if you look inside, between the door, there's a tab right there. So a little pry with a screwdriver in that section so you don't break the panel. See, there it is right there. That'll help. Just go easy. Okay, that panel's out. Just leave the seatbelt attached, unless I don't think we're going to need to remove that. Now we're getting closer. Being able to pull this up. Okay, now with a lot of this stuff out of the way, you can pull up on this piece of molding right here, pop it out. But wait, there's a screw holding it in there. So I got to get that screw out first. Molding only partially moves. Okay, now that that's out, I'm going to go for removing this plate. Lots of screws holding it in. You know, it would really suck if I get this off and then there's no access panel under here at all. And you do have to do it through the gas tank. I mean, via removing the gas tank. Oh man, that would suck. So I'll replace those speakers since I'm in here. Well, the good news is I peeked under there and the access panel is there. But this guy's in the way now. So there's a few screws that hold it in. Right there. And you got to pop these guys out. This is like a retainer. And then hopefully that pass-through comes out. And that worked just fine. Popping that out. Okay, moving on. Look! Look! Holy smokes! Holy smokes! Only partial access. Looks like I'm going to have to remove this speaker. I don't want to remove that whole side over there. That's a real pain getting those window thingies out. So I'm going to try not to do that. I'll figure out a way around that. Let me get this speaker out of here. A few screws. Hold the speaker block in place. Don't take the speaker out yet. Just the brace of the housing. Yeah, so I just removed 3 screws from this panel, gave it some flexibility, and then I was able to move that floor piece completely out. And there we go right there. Look at that. Here's what the back of the car looks like right now. Alright, so now 10 millimeter socket. Remove all those guys. Pry this cover up, and then we'll be looking at the fuel filter housing. No fumes will be escaping just yet. And FYI, the fuel pump's on that side. And there it is! Bye-bye! Now, before we proceed, there's a lot of dirt and dust in here that you're going to need to get out of here, or I'm going to need to get out of here because I don't want all that blowing around into the tank. So we're going to do a cleanup first. Okay, so what we got to do here is got to remove this fuel line. First of all, make sure you got a fire extinguisher close by. You're not smoking and doing this in the garage and burn your house down. We got to compress these 2 little clips right here. And then this guy will pop right out. Some fuel will leak out. It's inevitable. And then I'll show you how to get this ring off. I can't do this while holding the camera. You'll see. You just squeeze them together. This is a special tool, but you know what? I've done it by hand many times, just with my fingers. And that came right out. A little bit of gas sprayed, so be careful. But when I say little, I mean like very tiny amount. But it does pop out with some pressure, so you need to get that out of the way so you can work. And then you see these tabs right here. This is a special tool that Mini has that goes on there and you can turn those. But you can actually tap on those with a hammer and a screwdriver. Now pay attention. You got sparking possibilities here right now because you got fuel vapor. So you might want to wait a minute. Now that ring is aluminum. Aluminum doesn't spark. This screwdriver is not aluminum, but I don't think it can spark against aluminum. Anyway, you got to be careful here. No sparking. Go easy. Nice light taps. Don't slip off and puncture a hole in the tank or anything. Not even holding it with 2 hands, and it's moving nice and gentle. They'll reach a point where you can spin it off by hand, at which point you'll have full vapor coming out of the tank, and you could drop stuff in there, and you got to be wicked careful, and you need to put on gloves. Okay, it's pretty loose now, and I can just turn it by hand. Okay, now at this point, I'm going to switch to putting on gloves, but this guy will, you just jiggle it back and forth, maybe put a screwdriver under the edge just a tiny bit. It will pry up. It's only held in there with a gasket. There's nothing else. It's not threaded in or anything, so it just pops out. Okay, and like I said, it just pry it up on it, and it's coming out. Now, it doesn't come all the way out. Just leave it right there. Okay, what you're going to do now is you're going to hold this part with your hand, and then twist this. It's a twist off. And then this top part will pop off. Don't pull too hard on this because there's lines connected to it underneath there. Okay, really hard to twist, but hold on, it twisted. Okay, once it twists and the this little alignment is in its groove, you can gently pry on it. Gently pry on it, and she'll start coming apart. If it doesn't come apart easily, you haven't rotated it into proper position. And after lots of prying, that comes out, and you have access to the filter. So you just pull it out now, and then we'll go with installation. Okay, that's siphoned out. The old filter is just pulled out. Now there's an O-ring in there, so your kit should come with several O-rings. One there, one there, one right there, and then this seal. My kit always comes with 2 seals, and I don't know why. Never needed 2. I don't know why. But this is something I don't understand. But I've looked very carefully for where that second seal would go, and it doesn't go anywhere. So anyway, these guys are in there. It's time to put it back together. You can spit on those a little bit. It'll slide on, and then put the cover on and twist it. And that should lock this first O-ring into place. Okay, when putting this guy back in, it matters where it goes. Those little locking tabs, remember this was up near the front. So I'm going to push those locking tabs down in there. And once they're down, you're going to rotate it. And that's going to lock it into place. Be real careful. Again, view that right there. See those locking grooves? And there's that O-ring. It's going to seal this area from this cover area. Okay, I had a real hard time screwing the top cap into position, so I put some mineral oil all around the plastic and so forth, making it easier for me to tighten it down. That really helped. I should have done that from the beginning. Helps the seals drop into place and so forth, the O-rings. So, important note, before you reconnect everything, double check that nothing's falling off the back, that all the wires are still intact. And then there's this nub right there. So you're going to rotate it, get it down in there, push it down in, and then put the cap on. That's that part. Then we'll do a systems check. Okay, I was really struggling trying to get this thing to close up right, and I realized you have to put the blue seal in first, and because it has a lip that wraps around the underneath of that piece. Then this guy will drop right on top of it, and it will fit correctly. And if you're not sure which way the seal goes, there's a writing on it that indicates which side goes down, but it goes down like that. So this piece right here goes underneath the lip, and then the top piece rests on that. Once you seat the lip correctly, the seal correctly, push it straight down, that locks in there, and then you can put the retaining cap back on. Alright, so once you put the O-ring on there, tighten it down as much as you can, then use your screwdriver and hammer, tap it down until it's locked nice and tight. Put your fuel line back on there, make sure it's snapped in nice and tight. Don't start it unless you know this is good to go. And then start it up. Leave the doors open. case there's a fire, you can escape quickly. And if it blows up, I'm sorry. Probably wasn't my fault. Probably did something like lit up a cigarette. Anyway, a lot of work, lots of fun. Oh my God, not fun at all. Sorry, that was not funny. Yeah, it's bullshit. A lot of work, man. Anyway, good luck.